Welcome to School's Out 80's Comedy Story Time.
Hey everybody, welcome to School's Out 80's. This is our 5th episode. Really excited today. Special guest comes all the way from Charlottesville, Virginia, and I want to welcome her today. So Alicia Jane Buss, go ahead and say hello to the folks here at School's Out 80's.
Hey everybody, it's School's Out 80's. I'm really happy to be here. Actually, we can start with one that actually is in the 80's. So my grandfather bought me 2 white ponies for my 5th birthday, so 1985. And I will never forget that day for as long as I live. And it was just so wonderful.
He bought you 2 puppies?
Ponies.
Oh, ponies. Oh, okay. I was
2
like,
white ponies.
Somebody buys somebody 2 puppies. I don't know.
You totally can do that too, because puppies and kitties should always come in pairs.
Okay, all right.
From personal perspective, I'm like, you should have at least 2 kids. 2 puppies,
oh my God.
2 kittens, 2 fish, everything comes in pairs at least, because otherwise they'll get lonely. They need something of their own species to be friends with. That's my own personal viewpoint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand that not everybody can afford to have 2 of everything, especially kids. They're so expensive.
True that, yeah.
So anyways, yeah, it was a beautiful day, and there were apple blossoms, and I was at like the living room window, and I was like watching them come by, and but these 2 ponies, it was mother and daughter, and they were both white. We named one Licorice because she was born black, as many white horses are. They're technically usually gray. There are very few like actual white horses that are born white.
Okay. I had no idea about that.
Random fact, yeah.
Okay.
So there's the daughter, Licorice, was an escape artist. She was like Houdini. And there was a gelding that lived in the pasture at somebody else's house across our property line.
Okay.
And so she would suck in her tummy, and she would wiggle underneath the fence. And I was always just like, how do you, it wasn't very far off the ground. I was just like, how do you even do that? And she just would squish herself underneath the fence, like wiggling. And then she would run across the field to go see her boyfriend.
That's hilarious. So the horse would wiggle underneath the fence and get out?
Yeah.
The pony?
Yeah, the pony would, I don't remember how tall she was. Maybe 12.3 hands. She was a Welsh Cobb mountain, cross, and so she would shimmy underneath the fence line so that she could go see her boyfriend, and yeah, it was super funny. And then I had this other mare.
How far away was her boyfriend?
He was just across the property, so probably like 5 or 6 acres, and she would just walk across the road or whatever, and they'd go flirt and nick her over the fence line, and it was fine.
And then she would just come right, and then she'd scoot right under again?
No, we would have to get her and bring her back.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and then I had this other horse. Oh, this is a funny story. It's not from the 80's.
Okay.
So I had this horse who, she was a Percheron appendix quarter horse cross. So she was thoroughbred and quarter horse in Percheron. And she was a beautiful black horse. And I had put her in this one field with my 2 other horses, a big black Morgan and a bay Frisian quarter horse cross. And Tequila, Miss Tequila Sunrise was her name. We called her Tequila, or Key for short. and she decided that they should all go for a walk. And
Okay.
I was at work, and I I get a phone call, and my neighbor's like, "Your horses are loose," and one of the other neighbors is threatening to shoot them because they were running through his like garden that was his like.
Oh my God.
And we were in this valley in Carnation, Washington State, and so
Uh-huh.
what had happened is Tequila had a habit that she would stick her head and neck through the gate, and that was latched just by a pole in a hole, basically, right? And
Okay.
she would literally lift the gate off of the post and dump it on the ground to let all of the horses out of the pasture.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was super smart. And
Wow.
it could be latched on the other side. She had just like lifted it and like and it was super funny. And so yeah, they were running all over the place. And so my neighbor and I, like, he jumped in my car, and I was driving down the road, and we had like a couple halters and like a rope. And
Right.
so we go, and it's a two lane road, country road, and it's got pastures with fences on either side of it. And so we go, and we use my Subaru Forester, and we blockade like basically parallel parks across 2 lanes of traffic. And I'm
Sure.
flagging down other people on the other side, and I'm pointing to my car, and I'm just like, block the road.
Oh my God.
My horses were not interested in being caught. They're like, we're having an adventure. This is what's happening. And so then we finally get the horses caught right when the sheriff shows up. I literally just finished like latching the last horse's halter right when the sheriff came in, because I would have gotten in trouble because my horses are just like randomly running all over the road. And and I'm like, it's cool, Mr. Officer. Like, we're taking them back. So,
Oh my God. That's
and so
hilarious.
one of my friends is you know, because the people's traffic started to come, and my neighbors got like 2 of my horses, and I'm like driving my car while my horse is like walking next to my car, trying to get to my car, because I have to move my sheriff there. I have to move my car, and I have to get the horse. My neighbor can only handle like, you know, maybe 2 horses at one time, and
Sure.
oh, because 2 horses is a lot already in that situation, and we had to walk. I think it was like half a mile back to the pasture on the main road where people do anywhere between 45 to 80 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was exciting.
That's funny. I know that's wow. I've never heard of horses. I mean, I get it. Like our horse does that sometimes. Like we'll be just have him on, you know, the lead or whatever you call it, and it'll just decide that it wants to go across the pasture to this other horse to say hi. And when it decides to do that, if like you accent, like it can tell if you barely let go of the rein, it goes down for a little grass, and then it just like it's like it's like a football player, just like jerk and go, and it's gone.
He's like,
And when it goes, it goes.
Yeah, and then I had this filly. She was this
Mhm.
really sweet Morgan filly, and I had her down in Oregon, and we used to play hide and go seek. So I would run behind a tree, and like I'd tell her to say where she was. We had this really beautiful relationship, and so she'd say where she was, and
Yeah.
then I'd run behind the tree, and then she'd come get me,
Yeah.
and then we'd wait, and then I would go run behind the next tree, and then she would come get me behind the next tree, and so we just played this game, and I would be like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super sweet. And even when she was older and I brought her to a new place, she would still play hide and go seek with me. It was really sweet. I also taught her how to shake. So she'd like, I'd point at one
Sure.
leg, and she'd like paw out, and she'd shake your hand, and it helps them to be able to really be present and learn healthy communication and boundaries and have less of a filter. Like when people are engaging with horses, it's different because they tend to receive the information from the horse without a filter other than the filter they have within themselves versus when we engage with each other as human beings, we tend to have a natural filter that comes in place with our ego and like wondering what the other person's agenda is. And it's really nice to be able to just like strip that particular filter away and have the people assimilate the information in a purer form, and it allows them to reach their goals more quickly. So yeah, if anybody's in Virginia listening, I do massage, and then I do inspirational speaking events. So sharing my own story. If anybody wants me to be on their podcast anywhere in the world, I'm always happy to connect with other like great human beings who are trying to make a difference, and just seeing how we can support one another in collaboration and community. So if you want to play with me with horses anywhere in the world, or be part of like the Global Men's Summit or the Global Women's Summits as speakers or sponsors, collaborators, whatever, like please do reach out to me. I'm always grateful to continue to support as many as we can.
What I'm passionate about is I've been professionally selling for 31 years, and I don't believe that there's anybody out there that sells from the heart like I do. And I do believe that people that are out there, that if they truly want to be successful, you have to sell authentically, you have to sell from the heart, and you have to match the right product to the right customer. And it has to be, humble, and it also has to be like the right thing to do. Not just to make money, because like one of the things that goes through my mind as I'm working my day is it's always, to me, it's more than the money. It's about the relationship, and if the relationship is strong, the money will come. So, so how do you learn some of my wisdom? Well, I've made it really easy for people. There's an inexpensive book on Amazon. It's called Sales Warrior, just like my name, John Sales Warrior. And there's a book, and there's a course on Teachable called Sales Warrior Bootcamp Module 1. And it's 5.5 hours of inspiration. So it's not like how to